Yo, what's going on guys? HyperX here. Welcome back to another video for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and today I want to talk some more about Dawn of Ragnarok. We did a video on this a little while back when it was first announced, but Dawn of Ragnarok of course is the major expansion that kicks off year 2 of Valhalla. That of course is a brand new thing for Assassin's Creed, actually rolling into a second year of content for that game, and this one is set to be pretty massive with supposedly more than 35 hours of new gameplay. There's new weapons, new abilities, loads of stuff to look forward to, and recently I had a chance to attend a virtual event thanks to the guys over at Ubisoft. We got to watch some new gameplay and they showed off some of the new abilities, some of the new locations. Honestly, it's looking really cool. So in the background, I've got some of that gameplay rolling, and I basically want to use this as an opportunity to give you a summary of what this expansion has to offer and talk about some of the stuff we see in the gameplay. So if you guys do enjoy this, a like would be super appreciated. Let me know in the comments down below, did you complete Valhalla? Are you looking forward to this? Also, as a quick reminder, if any of you guys are seeing this and you're just like, this looks kind of cool, but I still haven't finished Valhalla, this is something that can be played by everyone, whether you are diving in completely new or whether you have done everything, so don't let that put you off. But to begin with, again, as mentioned, this is the new major expansion kicking off year 2 of Valhalla. More than 35 hours of new gameplay, and it's set to launch on March 10th. Of course, there's a lot of stuff happening right now in terms of the gaming world, but that is something else to look forward to. And of course, in this game, you will experience the personal story of Odin, who's looking for his son Baldur. You dive into Svartalfheim, which of course is another one of the realm of the dwarves, and the world is said to be very different to everything you've experienced in Valhalla so far. Of course, if you've done any of the sort of mythological parts of the game, then you will have experienced some of the sort of more mystical worlds. But this one, when you see them exploring, honestly, it looks so cool. From some of the vistas, especially when you're flying up high, it looks incredible. Now, of course, this expansion is said to, improve all aspects of the game. Combat, stealth, exploration, all of those have been built upon. You have the ability to absorb skills, or abilities, should I say, from fallen enemies, which is a really cool new mechanic, which you'll see in this gameplay. The different powers will support different playstyles. There's also a brand new weapon class, the type of polearm that has a lot of combos, and all of your gear and weapons you previously had can also be upgraded to divine quality, and this also gives them slots that you can place new Odin runes in, which you'll find around the world, and they will enhance these new powers. There's also the new game mode, the Valkyrie Arena, for you to do some battling in there. Basically, there's a lot of stuff to look forward to. So, talking about some of the gameplay you are seeing in the background, of course, the first part is Eivor following these sort of dwarven markings, trying to find a shelter. You'll find these sort of shelters all around the world because the idea in this expansion is that you're working with the dwarves to kind of get in their aid to battle the Musels from Muspelheim, who have basically ravaged the land. Now, one of the cool things, or one of the new mechanics you will get in this game, is this special grip. You can go to the dwarves and you can get this upgraded, and this grants you new abilities. Now, you can only have 2 abilities active at one point, but you can use this to upgrade them. So in the demo, they started by upgrading the Raven ability. This allows you to actually transform into a raven, so you can fly around, and then you can of course upgrade that ability, allowing you to pull off an assassination from the sky, which is incredibly useful. Now, one of the things you'll notice as they sort of jump forward and go towards like enemy locations is you'll see these little icons that appear above different enemies. These basically symbolize some of the different powers that are available. You'll see the Raven ability from the Raven. You'll see some that are like a flaming foot, some of them are like an axe. These are all different abilities that, using the new grip, you can basically absorb these. Again, as a reminder, you can only hold 2 of these. So if, say for example, you have the power of rebirth and you have the Raven and you then want to pick up the Musel ability, you will need to choose one to drop, but keep in mind at any point if you encounter another enemy, you can swap them back in, so you're not going to be losing your progress, but it is one of those sort of balancing things. You can't just walk around all powerful and just have all of these abilities. So they also use this as an opportunity to show off some of the polearm combat as well. Polearm is said to be really interesting because it's got a sort of heavy combo system that leads to different types of finishes. So some of these will be like wide AoE slashes, some of those will be knockbacks, and some will be just powerful overhead slams. So it's said to have quite a lot of options. But if you actually take a look at using some of these abilities, so one of the cool things you can do when they stole the rebirth ability is of course using assassinations in conjunction with this. It works in a way whereby when the skill is activated, all enemies that are defeated whilst it's active will then be reborn as allies. I'm sure there might be some limitations, like maybe you can't revive a boss, but you get the idea. It is, however, worth noting that these new abilities use a resource known as Huger, I believe that's how you pronounce it. You can basically generate this resource from enemies, other living creatures around the world, but also sites located around the world and sort of near to Yggdrasil, the tree. The dwarves have basically erected these statues, and they're places for you to gather this resource. And it's important because part of taking full advantage of this gameplay hinges on basically being able to generate and prolong this resource, because when you run out of it, then, if you've got an army of undead, they're going to drop dead. Another one of the powers they showed off is the power of Muspelheim. This, by default, is used to just protect you from fire. So if you wanted to kind of walk over fiery areas, which there are lots of in this area, then that of course allows you to do that, but they do also have other uses. And this one also leads into the stealth aspect, because this can actually turn you into a Muspel, and this will basically mean that you can then walk amidst the enemies, and basically like not be detected. So you can use that during missions to avoid suspicion, to sort of lead out prisoners, things like that. However, when it comes to battling the Muspels, they let out war cries that makes everyone around them glow. They are incredibly powerful enemies, and one of the ones you want to watch out for are the Flame Keepers. They can basically resurrect enemies around them and summon exploding minions, which will do massive damage to your health. However, amidst fights, you can also use the power of the Muspels, and you can basically use that to vanish, to sort of get out of combat. So if things do get a little bit dicey, you can use this as a means to get out. Now that pretty much wraps up what we got to see in the demo. As a reminder, Dawn of Ragnarok is designed as endgame content, so the recommended gear level is 340. However, if you've been playing Valhalla but you haven't quite got there, the game will allow you to boost your stats and your gear so you can be ready. And alternatively, if you're a brand new player, you can also just dive straight in. So if you do like the look of this, but you're like, oh, you know what, I'm nowhere near completing Valhalla, it's kind of daunting because I know I've got like another 80 hours in front of me, but you do just want to jump in and try this out, then you definitely still can. So that's a quick look at the new Dawn of Ragnarok gameplay. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think, and if you want some more details on Ragnarok, you can check out this video we did a little while back.